happy birthday, and someone just goes, shut up.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by Christopher Michael and Robert Evan, discussing everything from relationships to everyday life struggles, culture, and much more. And I actually had to look it up more myself, why people use the term Not For Nothing. And it is typically very big in, I don't care what anybody says, big in Italian American culture, for sure. It's definitely a New York thing, for sure. So, but it's like I found like people use it to either do one of two things with it. So they do it to put emphasis on something.
Yeah.
Or they do it to try to soften what they're about to say.
Yeah. Like no disrespect.
Right. So like I always think like when I think about how like family members of mine have said it, like men versus women. So men and women use it very differently. So like you get like an Italian father will be like, you know, not for nothing, but if you talk to your mother like that again, I'm going to smack you upside your fucking head. Right? That's how they talk.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a woman that goes, you know, not for nothing, but had Danielle just got her nails done with Tommy like I told her to, she would have been fine. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you can hear the distinct difference between how a woman does it and how a man does it. Men do it to like, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Women do it to soften the criticism that they're going to give the women in their life.
Yeah, I think that's not inaccurate, I don't think. But like you said, essentially to kind of soften the blow.
Right.
Like leading up to it. But,
yeah, I would say. I think I use it a lot though.
You and your brother.
So probably too much.
That's how we got the name of it.
That's how we got the name of it, for sure. The three of us were
together, and I swear to God, every other fucking sentence was, yeah, not for nothing.
Not for nothing.
But it's casual. But it's definitely I don't want to say Italian. I think it's more Italian, but it's definitely in New York.
It's a New York thing, for sure. I mean, typically like, you hear a lot of like people from Brooklyn, Bronx typically say it a lot.
Bronx.
Manhattan's a little, I don't know, Manhattan's kind of a different type of borough.
Well, it's such a melting pot of everything.
Really is.
Yeah. I mean, you have pockets of like Italians, and even back in the day, and I don't know if they said it back in the 50s, 40s, like Hell's Kitchen was predominantly Italian, well, Irish too, but
a lot of it's still Irish, Italian.
Yeah.
But like even like, but Manhattan's always been like, honestly, people that are born and raised in Manhattan, they'll even notice like versus the Bronx, even Brooklyn or Queens.
Yeah.
Their accents are different. Very different.
Yeah.
Like even the Bronx, Staten Island, Queens from Brooklyn, like Brooklyn accents are very, very heavy and thick.
Yeah. It's very easy for me to discern a Brooklyn accent versus
a for sure.
Bronx accent. Like immediately.
I could tell immediately.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, people say we have accents. I don't really hear it in us though. Oh. Not the way like when I listen to someone typically from the 5 boroughs, like I'm from there, but I hear their accents.
We also
like, distinctly hear them.
It's not just the tone, but it's the speed of how we talk. Like when I lived in Texas for a few years and I worked in banking down there,
right,
in a bank, and I would have to be cognizant and slow down like the speed at which I would talk.
Right.
Because for people born and raised in the South, it could be off-putting for them. It could be too aggressive.
Right. Well, it's taken the wrong way, or they take it out of context.
Yeah. But like down here in Florida, and even in Texas, I was telling you what took me the longest time to get used to, and a huge pet peeve of mine was just the lack of urgency in anything that anyone does.
Right.
Like it was just like, oh yeah, like you go to CVS, like how was your day? And me just being like the New Yorker, I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, what do you want? Like, what's the angle? What's the agenda? Versus just like in New York, they don't say anything to you. You buy the item, you give them money, they give you change or a receipt, and you leave.
Thank you. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah.
But
it's different down in the South. It's just a slower.
It's just cultural. Like it is. Like I remember when I moved down here, it was like culture shock. I love Florida. Don't get me wrong. I'm not really a bad thing to say about it, other than the fact that their sense of urgency is lacking. They just, you know what it is? They have no consideration for other people's time. And I don't think that they necessarily intentionally do it.
No.
I just think they grew up on a 24/7 vacation. Like that's what this place is.
Versus like the sense of urgency you need to get when you're in like Manhattan. Like I have to be somewhere 8 minutes ago.
Right.
Like please not discuss it.
Dude, imagine a born and raised Floridian moving to New York after like 35.
They'd have a panic attack getting on the subway.
Imagine them trying to shovel their car into snow. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? They wouldn't even know how to use a shovel. They never make it to work, bro. The fuck?
Just start.
Imagine living in the city when the fucking plows plow your car into the side of the street. Oh, dude, they'd be calling up the city complaining,
trying to find parking when they get home from work.
They'd be like, "You need to change the way you do plowing. You plowed my car in today." They'd be like, "Yeah, like every other New York fucking resident."
Figure
in
it
the
out.
5 boroughs. Get a shovel, figure it the fuck out, or go back to Florida.
Sounds like a you problem. Figure it the fuck out.
Sounds like you need to learn how to stop being lazy.
But yeah, that was a huge, I don't want to say pet peeve. It just annoyed me. Like I didn't take it personally, but it's just like, I got shit to do. Let's go. Can we please keep it moving? Like it took me legit over a year to kind of adjust to that and just accept like that was the quality of life, like that speed at which they operate.
But some of it's like, all right, here's the thing. Like the biggest thing for me with that is, I agree with you. I hate that there's no sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
But like, for example, I go to Starbucks, I'll order a coffee, and it's not even that they don't have a sense of urgency. It's that they make my fucking drink wrong. Like, dude, today I went to Starbucks, I ordered a coffee, specifically ordered it a certain way. And I'm in there watching it. And they were busy, which is fine. So if you take a little more time, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm a patient guy. But I see the woman making my drink and I see her like looking around, right? Like fucking sketchy. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Like she's like really looking to see if I'm there watching. So I asked for frothed cream, like steamed cream. And what does she do? She like peeks around like a fucking creep, like looking around for me. And she goes and she takes the half and half and she just pours it in the cup. Doesn't steam it, nothing. Just pours me like a regular cup of coffee.
But she was also looking around.
And she was looking around like a fucking weirdo. Like she knew, and she wasn't even doing it by accident because she was busy. She was being a dick to save time. So then I literally, as soon as I got the cup, I open it and I look at it and I said, dude, I just watched you pour this. I asked for it to be steamed. And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. And I really wanted to call her out on it and say, dude, I watched you look around this whole fucking place to see if I was looking at you. Like you didn't do it by accident.
Just do it the right way.
Right. You did it because you're lazy. Like because you're busy and you're lazy.
Yeah. But I also, when I think about like bartenders, for example, so if you think about like a crowded, like packed bar where it's like 2-3 deep,
right? What
I can't stand, and I can sympathize with the bartenders on this, is when you have people kind of like waving dollar bills, like calling out. Like I promise you that they see you. I promise you that like they're aware that you're there.
Right.
Just give it a minute. Like you're aware that you're 2-3 deep in line. They will get to you. They're not ignoring you. Just be patient.
Right.
And it's like the douchebaggery, the sense of entitlement. Like, well, I need to go. You'll get your stupid fucking Coors Light.
Right.
Just chill out. So it's one thing if it's a packed bar like that and they're doing the best they can and you can see them moving a mile a minute. It's another thing if it's a person kind of like sneaking or looking around,
right,
knowing she's intentionally making the drink order wrong to get it done quicker.
Yeah, it's annoying, dude. And then, I mean, as far as customers go, let me tell you guys, don't whistle at bartenders at all, because I'll tell you right now, if you snap your fingers and whistled at me when I was bartending, oh man, you'd be waiting for a drink all night.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're not fucking dogs. They're not there to wait on you and only you. Like they do their job well. They know you're there. Like, just chill the fuck out.
They see you.
Like, who are you whistling at? Like, what are you fucking, what's wrong with you?
What about,
like these people are like mentally handicapped. No offense. I'm just saying you have to have like some kind of mental dysfunction to be that kind of jerk off.
Snapping
your fingers, whistling at somebody. Like, who the fuck are you, dude?
But what about and I don't blame like the hostess for this, because you and I both grew up working in restaurants. So I don't blame the hostess for this at all. But if you have like a to-go order, right? Let's say you call it in, or now you order it online for pickup. You go in and there's like the tip jar where you are expected to tip for a pickup order. Because
that's annoying.
The owners of the restaurant don't pay their fucking staff enough.
For sure.
And they're expected to work off of tips where it's a hostess position.
Right.
I pay your staff accordingly.
Like, dude, it's not, listen, don't get me wrong. It's not uncommon for a hostess to be tipped on a busy night where she's running rampant filling tables. Okay. But the reality of it is, like, back in our day, they never had that on the screen. They never said, oh, tips are appreciated. Like, that's fine. I get it. But dude, they're not supposed to be tip employees.
No.
And you shouldn't be asking for it, because that's ridiculous. Like, pay your fucking staff what they deserve to get paid.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like, if you have to have them ask for tips at the fucking host stand, like, you're not paying them what they should be getting paid. Like, it's implied. Like, we all know, like, if a host is like, we'll tip them.
Oh yeah.
They check a jacket, they do whatever, they get a tip. It's fine. But it's so obnoxious. You go to fucking Chipotle. And even to that degree, I understand a little because they have the line guys, but still, like, what did you do for me? Like, you took my order. Why are you asking for it? And dude, I'm not a cheap guy. Like, I tip like 25, 30%. If I go out to dinner, I have no problem with it. What I have a problem with is them asking for it when I go to the fucking host stand and I put in a takeout order. Like, what did you do? Like, I'd rather you say for the chefs, the tips are appreciated.
Yeah.
Not for the person that typed into a computer 5 fucking lines of what I want to eat.
Right.
They didn't do anything. They should be getting paid by you to do that. I hate saying it
like, well, that's their job, because a waiter's job is also to
do it is their fucking job.
But it is their job, and they should be paid an hourly wage and not be expected to live off of tips.
Right. It's their job, and it's the employer's job to pay them accordingly for that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're doing it, I don't even hold them account. I mean, I don't really blame them, the employee. I just think the owners of those restaurants are scumbags, truthfully.
What do you think about, because you're self-employed?
Right.
So what's your stance on when restaurants or like delis, pizzerias, whatever, they charge that like the 3 or 4% like convenience fee?
I get it. I mean, I don't get it for them. So for me, it's very different. So a lot of my jobs are, you know, in the range of like $20,000 to $80,000. So for me, you have to understand, you know, 3% on a $20,000 job could be, you know, like $500-600.
Yeah.
On an $80,000 or $100,000 job, I mean, forget about it. I mean, it's a huge hit. So I agree with it in certain instances, but I mean, it's the cost of doing business too, right? So I have mixed feelings about it. I think when you're in my kind of business and 3% could be $3,700 or $5,000, you got to charge it. You just have to do it. Like you could say, oh, you want, it's the cost of doing business. But listen, a lot of these people like to use these rewards cards or these Amex cards, and they charge the highest rates. Now, if you use a debit card, it's nothing to me. I don't charge you any kind of fee.
Yeah.
But listen, I get it. You want your points, you know, but I also don't want to pay 5% interest on a credit card. So
yeah.
So no, for pizzerias that are paying, you know, an extra 15 cents to use a credit card. I mean, here's the thing. We live in a world where cash is not dominant anymore.
No.
So at the end of the day, you have to take them, right? Yeah. So it's a luxury for you to be able to use a credit card processing machine.
But people get so used to it, it's like the expectation now.
Well, you got to pay for that luxury. Right. I mean, and there's a fee that it's attached to you being able to use that credit card processing. So no, do I think you should be charging people to make up 20 fucking cents? No, I don't. And people might disagree with that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but like I said,
for me, because it's like, let's say you go to a deli and you get like a sandwich and a Powerade or whatever, sandwich and a drink. If you're doing that, and the idea is that, okay, let's say it's $12. The 3% on $12 is what, 36 cents? Like the other option is they could just charge a little bit more and, you know, up.
Right. And not let you know.
3%. Right. And do it on the back end.
Yeah.
I'd be none the wiser. But I see it on the other hand. It's like, why should they pay for me to go on a trip with my family because of the points I'm getting? And if their costs are going up, it's like, if you're self-employed, right? And let's say you do pools and pavers, concrete. Let's say the cost of concrete goes up. Well, then your costs need to go up.
Right. Pass it down.
Right. Like it's not bad business. It's you looking to continue to make the profit you want. And then like I look at a lot of these guys as small business owners and, you know, they're not out there driving, you know, Ferraris, Lamborghini, like, you know, they're driving 10 to 15-year-old cars. And this is how they put food on the table for the family. Like this is how they provide.
Absolutely.
So if you put it on the back, like it doesn't bother me anymore too, because you get so used to the idea that so many places do it. Like you don't have to pay with your debit card or your credit card. Like you can pay with cash. And I imagine for you as well, you probably take ACH, you probably take wires.
Yeah, we take all those.
You might even take a personal check or at the very least a certified bank check. Like you don't have to pay with your card. It's not a rule.
No, and they have rules for it that govern it anyway.
Sure.
So like you can't charge over a certain percentage.
It's like 3% now.
And you also
state by state, but
it's different. And you also can't force people to just use credit cards. They have to have other options, check, cash. So you can't just say, I only take credit cards and then force people to pay.
Right. But if that's how they want to pay, then understand there's going to be a charge associated with doing it.
Right. And listen, if you don't like it, you don't, like you said, you don't have to use it. I mean, I get it. Some people need to use credit cards. They need to stretch out the money that they're spending. They need time to pay it. I said, and I understand it, but you know, there's a cost to do it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're already spreading the payment out. You know, what's the extra $200 going to kill you? Not really.
Yeah. And they've given them that luxury of being able to spread it out. Like this is the cost of doing
right.
business.
You're getting the luxury of not having to hand me $40,000 up front. Right. So, you know, I have mixed feelings about it. In certain instances, I think it's okay. Do I think it's okay for you to save 20 cents? And everybody's going to say, oh, but 20 cents adds up over a year and 100,000 customers. But no, it really doesn't. Because, I mean, I get it. I mean, it adds up, but it's nothing that's going to cripple you. You've been operating your business for 20 years without it. What people do is they see other people do it and they see it become more and more common.
Yeah.
And then they take advantage and they say, oh, fuck it, I'm going to do it. But, you know, you also see a lot of businesses that don't do it.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if I see it, I don't get bothered by
It
it.
wouldn't stop me from going.
No,
like
it doesn't
deli
bother
or a
me.
restaurant or like
But-
because it's like the new norm now.
It is. It's the
Yeah.
new norm. But I'll tell you, like, one of my biggest pet peeves, oh, I could strangle people, dude, is like when you have the balls to call me up to talk and you're fucking eating.
Chewing.
Like, I hate it. Like, why? Like, why did you choose to call me in the middle of your fucking dinner? Like, you think I want to hear you chew food for 30 minutes? Like, it's like the nerve, like, and even the friends of mine, like, I'll hang up on them, dude. It's like, you could have called me anytime. You could have called me before. You could have called me, like, what does it take you, 10, 15 minutes to eat? You could have just called me after you eat dinner. You got to literally call me. I got to hear you scarf down your fucking steak and mashed potatoes while you're talking to me. Like, come on.
Is it the chewing or it's just
It's the chewing.
principle?
It's obnoxious. And no, the principal part of it is that you actually had the fucking nerve to pick up the phone and call me so that I have to listen to that for 20 fucking minutes while you have a conversation with me. Like, that's the principle. But yeah, the chewing, it's obnoxious. Who the hell wants to hear somebody chew loudly through a phone while you're trying to have a conversation?
Well, that's a big one, right? Like that's like a known like pet peeve, like the sound of
Just-
somebody chewing.
Yeah, it's like etiquette. It's like talking with your mouth, like with food in your mouth. You know?
So there's some that really bother me.
No, that bothers me a lot. The other thing that bothers me is douchebags that leave their fucking shopping carts in between cars.
Oh, they get at a supermarket
Fucking hate them, dude.
versus just walking the 6 feet.
I would literally beat them with the shopping cart if I saw somebody do it.
So like I don't believe in like, I think it's fucked up to fuck with anybody's car. I would never touch anybody's car, but I would put a shopping cart right behind like their car,
Right.
on the sides of the doors, or park really close to them.
Why,
They couldn't.
to be a dick?
Yeah.
Like, why? They had to do something, though, no?
Well, if they leave a shopping cart like in the middle,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just a douchebag thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like, why do you're that lazy, dude?
drive. Well, you're talking about cars. Like driving is a weird thing, and they talk about there's like a science behind the idea of driving a car, because you have to be, whether if you've been driving 20 years, you're probably not self-aware of it anymore, but how you have to be hyper focused.
Right.
So if you think about when you first started driving,
Yeah.
how like self-aware you are of every turn, like everything on the road, and you just build that comfort over time as you start, driving more and more, just like anything else.
Right.
But you're still operating a 3,000-pound vehicle that has the capability of inflicting serious bodily damage, serious property damage. When somebody cuts me off and then goes below the speed limit,
Oh.
I see fucking red.
I black out.
I
Run them
hate it.
off the fucking road.
Have
dude.
you ever had like an experience where you're like literally road rage?
Oh, yeah, all the time. In Florida? Are you kidding me? These people don't know how to drive. Get their fucking licenses out of Cracker Jack boxes. It's fucking ridiculous.
A lot of seniors driving down
It's
here
insane,
too.
dude.
A lot of seniors driving.
They need, I swear, honestly, for the amount of old people in this state, and again, I'm nothing against old people, but you guys need to retake your road test. There should be a fucking law that states once you surpass the
there?
age of 70, I don't know how, if there is, there's still way too many fucking elderly people driving that should not be. Should not be.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, for your own safety, forget about mine. I mean, I'm 40. I might survive the crash. Chances are at 80 years old, you're not.
You're not going to.
Like, you're not going to. So, yeah, that bothers me. But yeah, the way people drive is definitely a big thing for me. Like, huge. Like when people, or like when someone's in a fast lane driving 50 miles an hour. Like, dude, we live in a state where the speed limit's 65 to 70. What the fuck are you doing 50 miles an hour?
Or
Like,
left lane driving.
Just
like
go
that?
into the right lane, dude. We got 4 lanes on these fucking highways. Why are you in the left?
That's
I don't
it.
understand.
Isn't that like if you're not driving the speed limit in the left lane now, can't you get ticketed for that?
I guess they could ticket you for, it's like some
Holding
kind
up
of like,
traffic, essentially.
it's like not holding them trapped, but you could actually, I guess they consider like to some level, like endangering the other people on the road.
yeah.
Because you're
Because now
just
they're
going
weaving
too
into other
slow,
lanes,
like
yeah.
minimum, because they have minimum speed sometimes. I think usually they have them posted, but yeah, that pisses me off. Somebody cuts me off. Somebody like, yeah, I don't know, dude. People in Florida are just, they're fucking crazy, dude.
Remember you had a story where someone followed you?
Oh yeah, the truck driver.
Yeah.
So this guy, this was a complete accident. So I guess if I had done this on purpose, I could see why he'd be so fucking irate. I mean, keep in mind, he was driving an 18-wheeler. So, I mean, I caused there was no immediate threat to him. I was in my fucking C300 Mercedes at the time. and we were at basically a merge at a yield sign. So we were all going very slow. And I don't know if I just didn't see him. He kind of just oddly kind of came up he was in my blind spot, was what it was.
The 18-wheeler was in your blind spot?
He was in my blind spot. Truly, no, he was. He was so close. He wasn't in my rear view, and I guess I just didn't notice him.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of cut him off, kind of. So I was with my girlfriend at the time. So yeah, he actually followed me to my house in New York, and real fucking sick psycho fuck. And she was in the car with me. And then I immediately, we got out of the car. He pulled up to the driveway. When I told her, I said, get in the fucking house. I was being real, kind of abrupt about it. I was like, just get in the house. And I literally ran toward the truck. You never seen somebody get back in their truck so fast and drive off. I was like, I'll fucking kill you, dude.
Most people don't want confrontation.
No, but you got balls coming to someone's house, bro. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Seriously, I was so irate by the time he got there. I could have strangled. He's lucky he didn't walk onto my property.
Yeah.
He's lucky.
In Florida, you can shoot people for that, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know exactly.
Does it stand your ground?
Texas, I know there's stand your ground for sure. But I'm trying to think what else really fucking bothers me.
People who harmonize when they sing in public settings, but it's not about them. Like if somebody's singing happy birthday, so let's say you have a family party, right?
This happy birthday thing really bothers you.
Why? Because it's somebody taking something that's not theirs and making it about them. That bothers me. That's what it is.
But what if they're just doing it because they want to be nice and considerate to the person whose birthday it is?
Don't make it about yourself. Just sing the way everybody else is singing. By you trying to be extra with how you sing, even if you have a great voice, it's not about you.
Yeah, but what about let's just use, the late Whitney Houston as an example.
Okay.
One of her family.
Whitney Houston was at my birthday party, fine.
No, not your birthday party. Let's just say she had a family member, let's say her mother, and she decided to sing happy birthday with her unbelievable voice. Are you saying she's making it about herself?
So let me give you a scenario here and we'll work it out. Let's say.
I'd like an answer to my question first, actually.
Well, I need context for it.
Gave you context.
You did. Are you saying she's singing it to me one-on-one?
She's
while
singing
I sit in front of a birthday cake with candles on it?
No, she's in
a group setting
with her family. She's with her family. It's her mother's birthday. And she decides to sing in her Whitney Houston voice.
So if Whitney Houston was alive,
happy birthday song,
and I was at Whitney Houston's house for her mother's birthday,
right?
And Whitney Houston wanted to start harmonizing. Is that what you're saying?
For her mother,
cool,
with her family.
Yes, because it's fucking Whitney Houston.
Oh, so she gets a pass because she's a singer?
Whitney Houston gets a pass. Yes.
Why?
Because she's fucking Whitney Houston.
Oh, but that's crazy. She's doing it for the same reasons anybody would do it.
No one else is Whitney Houston.
You're all right. You're using who she is as an excuse for her to do that.
She gets a pass.
But what if somebody else just happens to have a great voice and they want to sing it in a beautiful way?
You're not Whitney Houston. Shut up.
You're such a dope.
No, you're not Whitney Houston.
I'm going to sing happy birthday to you, harmonize this here.
If you have like a kid,
I am
like a 3-year-old sitting in front of a birthday cake and there's 15 family members just doing the same old happy birthday and someone just goes, shut up.
Well, what do you want them to do? You want them to sound like you?
I want them to sound like everybody else who's at the party.
Do you want them to sing it in Hebrew?
That'd be great. No, I want them to sound like everybody else because it's not about you.
Right, I get it.
Do you?
I guess I get it. No, I don't really get it, honestly.
Oh, it's because you're a piece of shit.
No, I'm just saying. You're giving a singer a pass because she's a professional singer. But the reality,
I'm giving Whitney Houston a pass.
Okay, so Christina Aguilera doesn't get the same pass?
I debate that. That's fine.
So you're just giving them passes because they're singers. It's the same point, though.
Because it's not some schmo trying to make it about
But they're
themselves.
Not a schmo. They're a family member who's singing happy birthday to a
so what if
loved
it's
one?
not a family member? What if it's a friend of the family?
We're just, you know what we're going to do? We're going to ask the viewers if they agree with me or you on this.
Put a poll up?
And we're going to put a poll up.
Yeah.
I think they're going to agree with me. I think that person is doing it out of the kindness of their heart because they
I'm not saying the intent isn't right.
No, you are.
I'm just saying it's not about you.
Right, I agree.
Just sing like everybody else.
Okay.
The exception is Whitney Houston.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like Robbie's jealousy has a very shitty voice.
I wish I could sing. Will you fucking just whip that out?
See, I bet if you could sing, you'd harmonize happy birthday every time.
I'd never make it about me.
You would, absolutely.
No.
You would.
You're making assumptions.
I've known you when you've known somebody for 30 years, it's not an assumption.
When have I ever made anything about me?
Don't make me go off the laundry list.
I want you to write a laundry list.
No, I'm only fucking with you, but you would. If you had the ability to do it, you'd do it.
No, I don't like making things about me.
So like, what would you do if you just had an amazing voice and you decide, hey, fuck it, I'm going to sing like everybody else? You just sing out of tune for the hell of it?
No, I'd sing in tune. I just wouldn't try and harmonize shit.
Right.
Like I'm hitting some fucking high notes.
I just love how much this bothers you, actually.
It bothers me.
It really does. Hey, listen, I'm trying to think about something that really, I mean, the talking and eating is like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I could smother someone that does that, but I'm trying to think what else really, really bothers me.
People clipping their nails in public.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. But I'll tell you, people that take up 2 spots in lots.
Like parking?
Yeah, they deserve to be run over.
Yeah.
They do.
That's where we talked about parking close to them.
Yeah, so I was telling, like, honestly, and this is for anybody listening, if you really want to fuck with someone that takes up 2 spots, keep in mind their sole intention when they do that is that they do not want someone getting close enough to their car to possibly damage it. So what you need to do is you need to park as close as you can to one side of the car to the point where they literally cannot back the car out without hitting you. And then when you come out of the store and you see them waiting by the car, just watch them for like 20 minutes and just let them sit there and sweat it out. And then come and say, oh, you took up 2 spots. There was somebody to the right of me and I had no choice. And that's what you can do to fuck with people that take 2 spots. I don't care if there's no cars around them and they do it at the other end of the lot. Fuck them. Go pull your car right next to theirs and get so close that they literally can't open their door or pull out till you get there. And I'm serious. I mean, if I was petty enough, keep in mind, I'm not saying that I do that, but they deserve to have that done to them. Like 100%. So yeah, I mean, another one of my biggest pet peeves, honestly, is odd numbers. Like when people put the volume on their car into odd numbers or the TV volume, it just fucking irks me.
Why?
I don't know. I just have a thing with it.
I think a lot of people.
I have to immediately change it to an even number. I mean, if you can get it by me without me noticing it, obviously I don't care.
Right.
But yeah, I fucking hate it. And when people are in my car, like there are people that'll do it, like they know I don't like it.
Just to fuck with you?
Oh, dude, I'll put them on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Seriously, get the fuck out. Done. Like that's how much it bothers me. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little I guess it's a no. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's funny. Like I tend to keep everything on even as well.
Right.
It's just it's a little. What do they call it now? An ick.
Yeah, I guess it's an ick.
What drives me up a fucking wall though? People when they take phone calls on speaker, and it's not like they have like the headbuds or earbuds in, or
right.
They're having a full blown conversation with somebody on speaker in like a public setting, like at a supermarket,
right? And
you can hear both sides of the conversation.
Yeah, it's
obnoxious. I have no interest in hearing.
Like, why are you even doing it though? Who the fuck cares what you have to talk about, dude?
Let me call you back in 15 minutes. I'm at the grocery store.
I don't care what your fucking wife's telling you to get at the grocery store.
Have her text you.
Seriously, the fuck?
Fine. Or take it off speaker and hold it to your fucking ear.
Right.
You can talk, just I don't want to hear the conversation.
Right. No, that's a big one. I mean, yeah. I mean, people are just obnoxious, dude. These people that do these things are just, I don't know, just no consideration, no nothing for anybody else. Oh, you know what else really bothers me? I swear, is like, I think we talked about this when you hold the door open for somebody and they don't thank you. It's like, dude, how like what kind of effort does it take to just thank somebody for holding the door open for you?
I'll scream, "You're welcome."
Oh yeah, I'll be like, "You're welcome. You're welcome. I'll follow. You're welcome."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's annoying too.
But again,
I could go on for days. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
they expect it, and that's fine. I mean, listen, I get it. If you're a woman and you expect chivalry from a man, that's fine. But I mean, you can still thank them for it. I mean, the fuck.
Not even I'm like that, sure. But like in a public setting, like you're at a restaurant and you're holding the door for somebody and they just breeze by you. Or if you hold the door for somebody and they're behind you and you let them go, this is even worse to me. Somebody's walking out of the restaurant and you hold it. I get annoyed if they don't say thank you and they're walking out and you're walking in. But if you hold the door for somebody behind you and they just breeze past you without saying it, I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
Yeah, I get it. It's obnoxious.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, I don't know. People bug me. I can go on for days about the shit that people do. Yeah. They just annoy the shit out of me. But I mean, honestly, if I lived my life really getting bothered by every single little thing that people did, I wouldn't be able to function on the day to day. I mean,
Right.
so,
It's
you
so
know,
easy to be
it annoys
annoyed.
you and you
Yeah.
can think horrible thoughts about what you want to do to these people to do it. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, you got to try to get past it because honestly, it's just people, dude. That's why it's fucking people, dude.
Yeah.
People aren't considerate. They don't care. Um,
Being late.
Oh, being late, I hate it because I'm always on time for things, dude. I may take my time to do something, but I start getting ready to do it way before I have to be somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's obnoxious.
I had an appointment with a client probably like maybe like a month or so ago, whatever it was. And whatever it was, the appointment was 12:30. And I remember vividly, he was 37 minutes late. 37.
Right.
And again, I get it. There are times where I'm running late and life happens. Make a phone call, let them know you're. So he comes in 37 minutes late, and at that point, I'm doing 16 other things because my biggest commodity is time. Like,
right.
It's only so many hours in a day. And he comes over. He goes, "Oh yeah, we had an appointment. We had an appointment at 12. So it's 12:37.
Right.
I have another appointment at 1. So I can give you 22, 23 minutes.
Right.
But we can't get done what we need to get done in 22, 23 minutes, which is why we made the appointment for 12.
Right.
If you told me you'd be coming in at 12:40, I told you doesn't really make sense.
No.
I can't do anything for you right now. You want to reschedule, but it's just, again, it's the entitlement, but you're not wrong where it's like, you could think about everything you want to do and how it just bothers you, how it just annoys you. You want to wish ill on these people. I just think it's the lack of self-awareness. But the other thing is people say, well, you never know what someone has going on in their life. That's very true. You never know what somebody's dealing with.
Yeah. We all deal with shit though.
That's the thing.
So you can go fuck yourself with that excuse.
Yeah. Everyone deals with something, and I don't need you to grovel. But just, hey, thanks.
No, I mean, listen, if you're dealing with shit in your life, if something's not going right or people are being dicks or whatever the case is, someone disappointed you, you'd think you'd be more inclined to be like grateful for the people that actually do things to, make you feel like, like they appreciate you or they're just being gentlemen or chivalrous or, you think you like focus in on those things more because you're obviously lacking them or you're having a hard time.
They seem to lean the other way.
They do. They lean the other way. Like, go fuck everybody. Like, I feel like, I'm missing. I've said this before. I have very profound respect for women as a whole, but I feel like women will hold on to things like that with guys. Like if they have bad relationships, bad breakups, like they categorize and group men together.
Yeah,
like all men are this way. Like
I think guys can do it too, though.
I mean, I don't do it. I don't think guys do it half as much as women because I get it. I mean, guys can be dogs and that's fine, but yeah, ladies, it's just not all guys are the same. Like, I mean, they're just not. I mean, you could say that. You might feel that way. Maybe you've gone through a run of really horrible relationships, but I got news for you. It's not all guys. It's your taste in men. It's the guys that you select to date. If you date douchebags, you're going to be treated like shit. I mean, that's just the reality.
Well, I think it's also the mindset you have going into something like that, whether it's a relationship or anything. Like if you go into it expecting someone to be like the image you have of your last experience with
right,
you're setting yourself up.
You're setting yourself up because you're going to treat them differently, and you're probably going to bring out the worst side in them because you're always going to like nobody wants to have like a third eye on them all the time, right? Or just run into an argument because you think someone's doing something that your ex did, or they're going to disappoint you the same way. Like it's just kind of it gets a little old. But so. Not to get on this topic, but women have a habit of doing shit like that. But again, not all women, just some, but you do have the habit of doing it. So yeah, so that gets I would say that's kind of a pet peeve for me. It's a little obnoxious sometimes when you date somebody and they're like, oh, my ex did that, and you're doing the same thing. Like, no, but we did it for different reasons. Like, you're just kind of
Well, it goes to like the expectation. If you go into it expecting something based off of like a prior experience, then you're going to get out of something what you put into it.
Right.
So if you go into it, like you said, treating someone with a certain mindset, they're all of a sudden going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And you're going to set a norm. You're going to set a standard for how that person treats you.
Right.
And
absolutely.
what you're willing to tolerate.
Yeah. Well, you're going to give them a hard time from the onset. So the relationship's going to be toxic from the beginning. But, so yeah, I would say that's something that bothers me when women do that, especially when you don't know me. You're just saying, oh, but yeah. I mean, like I said, I can go on for days, but I won't. I mean, there's so many things that people do that bother me, but I try to live my life, not really pay attention too much to what other people do.
Yeah.
I try not to let things annoy me as much as they possibly could, and I just keep moving forward. I mean, like I said, honestly, if you really concern yourself with people out there that are just inconsiderate, don't have any respect for anybody but themselves, and just have no consideration for anyone. I mean, you're surrounded by them daily. I mean, you'll never get anywhere in your life if you constantly hang on those things.
Yeah,
like you just can't. You got to move past it.
It's something I've learned as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
I had to kind of coach and teach myself too, because you can find a million different reasons to be upset at anyone for anything.
Right.
I'm so fucking far from perfect. Like, let me be clear on that.
No one is.
But I think, again, going back to it, a lot of it has to do with intent. And then life is too short. Like, it's so easy to carry hate and baggage and just stress.
Right.
And as I'm getting older, again, so my mindset on so many things is that, like, your biggest commodity, for me, this is just me personally, my biggest commodity in life is not money. You can always make more money.
Right.
There will always be more money to
Absolutely.
be made. Biggest commodity is time. And I just don't want to go through life like being angry, being upset. Like, there are definitely times where it peaks. Don't get me wrong. I'm fucking human.
Well, we all have bad days.
Right. But for the most part, like, now as I'm getting older, something I've learned is just kind of like, all right, like, let it be. It's not within my control. What hill do I want to die on?
Right.
It's not this one with the guy who parked in 2 spots. It's not the person who was on the speakerphone. Yes, it annoys the shit out of me.
Right.
But it's also like, all right.
Yeah, you got to shrug it off. You got to shrug certain things off. I mean, listen, life is full of fucking disappointments, rude people. People are just going to make your day worse. People are just fucking miserable and want to make everybody else miserable with them. I mean, like they said, misery loves company. So, unfortunately, you'll never escape it. So you have to learn to deal with it. Yeah. And if you don't learn to deal with it, you're going to be just as miserable as them. But the crazy thing is, that's exactly what those types of people want. So believe me, you're only doing them a favor.
Right. You're feeding into
when you feed into it, you're just giving them exactly what they want.
Yeah.
So the best thing you could do is just keep moving forward, do what you do, be successful, fuck them all, and just move on.
Be so good they can't ignore you.
Right.
Right. So like you're absolutely right. Most people thrive on the fact that they're upsetting you. And if you let them upset you, like, they're winning.
Right.
And just don't give them this. Okay.
No, don't give them the gratification.
You're
not important enough in my life to ever have that kind of effect on me. Most people aren't, except my close knit circle, and they would never do shit like that. Right. So that's why they're my close knit circle.
And if they do, you have no problem calling them out.
No, I would call them out.
I've been called out.
Right. Or I just, they wouldn't be my friends anymore, or whatever the fuck. I honestly don't care enough about people I don't know for them or any of their opinions to affect my life one way or the other.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's why I'm able to move forward in my life and be successful. And, I love the naysayers. I love them. I love the people.
Feed off it.
I feed off it. It motivates me. And I don't think they realize how much they motivate people.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, some people take it to heart and brings them down. For me, it's like pure motivation. Yeah. It's like, man, I can't wait to tell you to go fuck yourself.
That's the pettiness and the spite in me.
Yeah, and
love, where it's like,
listen, that might be petty. I don't give a fuck.
Fine.
Listen, I'll eat the shit, and I'll eat the shit as long as I have to. But let me fucking tell you, dude, the moment I make it to the top of that mountain, I'm going to shit all over you from it. All over you. Done.
Look, the idea of, like, again, getting older and carrying that stress,
right,
and seeing now as you get older how it can physically manifest itself. Yeah. Like, dude, I just fucking let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, what are you going to hold on to every fucking negative thing that happens in your day?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You'd never survive. You'd never make it through life.
No, you'd be the most cynical, miserable person in the world.
And there's no shortage of them in the world. Right. So, I mean,
we don't need more.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't need to be one. I have enough stresses in my life without having to
look
at the negative side
shit
to everything
going on in life that I need to put my time into.
So overall, I guess our biggest pet peeve is people that are just dicks.
Inconsiderate assholes.
Inconsiderate, entitled, right? Spoiled little brats.
I hate saying it, like, most people suck, but
most people do suck.
It's not the people, it's how you choose to respond to it. And there are times where I want to launch somebody off a cliff and watch them fucking splat. But for the most part, it's like, I just can't be bothered. I just don't have the energy to give to you.
No,
you're not worthy.
You shouldn't be giving the energy to them.
You're not worthy.
I mean, that's the point, right? Like, you should never give people like that your energy. Yep. I mean, you shouldn't. They don't deserve it, for one. And honestly, the greatest fuck you can give to people like that is just ignoring them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you feed into it, the more you're giving them exactly what they want.
It's like dealing with like a narcissist. Like, don't engage. It's not a winning battle. Right. You're dealing with a narcissist. Just don't engage. Right. That's how you win that battle. Keep it short, keep it to the point, but don't engage, because once you do, you can't win. Same thing with the entitled people, the assholes. Don't give them the satisfaction, because once you let them see that it affects you, right, you got no shot.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
That's what they want.
There's so many entitled people in the world. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is.
But again, what hill do you want to die on? You got to pick and choose the battles you want to get into.
I'm going to wait till I'm so successful in my life that I could literally die in them all. I'm going to fucking torture people, dude.
Buy their businesses.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to sound like that, but truly, I'm going to literally, I'm going to buy businesses up and just close them down. Fire everybody. You're all done. Everyone, you dicks, buy the business, shut them down.
Yeah.
Burn the building down. Put up real estate. Fuck you all.
Put up a self-storage unit.
Right? Yeah.
Parking garage.
That's it. Parking garage.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I can go on for days with pet peeves and shit that bothers me, but I won't. So I think, excuse me, I think what we'll do on that note is let's call it a day. Check us out on IG at notfornothing.podcast, TikTok at notfornothingpodcast. And you can check out our YouTube channel, which is also Not For Nothing Podcast, as well as Spotify, Apple, and Amazon to watch the episode. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks so much, guys.
We will talk to you next week.
Yeah. Get it done.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.